So here we are at the end of our chapter, but at the very, very end, because we're in the last video of the last section of Algebra 1, Chapter 1. So here's our concept summary so far. We were talking about graphs and statistical information and types of graph. We've got bar graphs. They compare different categories of data. Circle graphs are going to be data as parts of a whole set of data. So we usually see percentages in circle graphs. Line graphs will show change in data over time. In this final example, we're going to explore the idea of misleading graphs. And, this chapter is pretty good, but I wish it actually spent more time on crazy misleading graphs. And I think the more math you know, the more you can see how sometimes information is used to sway us in different ways. And if you know your math, you can actually be a more savvy reader. Anyway, let's take a look at this example. So automobiles would be the title, in a sense, the title of sport utility vehicles specifically. Sales sold in 1990 to 1999. And we've got this graph, and it shows us that over a certain amount of time, we've got certain amounts of millions of vehicles sold over time. And nothing seems particularly misleading here, right? If it's fact, it's fact. But what it does is, what the graph does, and this is the point that I thought was necessary not to skip over. If you look down here, it looks like this is zero. Like this is zero. Notice where they started their graph at 1 million. So this looks like nothing happened in the years 1990 to 1991. Then a little bit happened, then a little bit more, and then whoa, look at what's going on in 1999. Now, truth be told, the jump is significant, but the jump isn't from 0 to 3, it's actually from 1 to 3, which shows that there's been an increase of about 2.5 million vehicles sold, which is important, to actually be able to look at and recognize. And sometimes one thing that you really want to do is make sure when you're looking at graphs or information that you're making sure that you are not being persuaded to see the graph in a certain way from nothing to something, right? Well, it wasn't nothing. And that is specifically informative and necessary. So that's the only thing I wanted to talk about in this video, is just say, hey, graphs can be misleading, and here's one way. Sometimes the numbering can be odd over here, a little bit differently numbered so that it makes your data skew in a certain way. Sometimes, of course, the information could be somehow not true, but we don't have that. But there's a number of different ways that we can tweak a graph to make it say or imply what we wanted to say. That's all. All right, guys. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you need help. The next thing you should be doing is your practice test after you finish the problems from this section. And I look forward to talking to you soon. And then after that, the test. All right. Take care.